Hello everybody, Lich Reaper here. Just a moment, I forgot one little detail. Which still a very loud dolphin, I believe. Yeah, I'm in 1.14.4, so I'm past the update aquatic. Let me see if I can turn that dolphin down a little. Maybe. It's a bit windy out, but oh well. Anyhow, I'm doing another Lycanites equipment combo video, although the world I was doing it in previously seems to be having some technical difficulties, so I'm making do. Anyhow, as you can see, I have a particularly wiggly one right here, although one that also has a very nice grip. This one is designed to be, again, primarily a weapon, although it does have a few things that it can harvest as, and I'll kind of go over the parts, where you can get them from, etc., and do a little combat to show it off. I'm actually going to be facing a Morok this time, so that ought to be interesting. So, yeah, they got a pretty good amount of HP, so I figured, well, it's got more health than an Iron Golem, so I might as well show it off that way. At least I think I remember them having that much. Otherwise, I'll have to switch to something else like a Quetzalcoatl, which admittedly I'm in the environment of right now, because Quetzal's like the ocean, so that could happen. I'm actually in the Nephrite mod pack rather than my own right now because, again, had to do some backup plans. But anyhow, on with the show. But yeah, the view of that may be a little different because of a mod that he's got in here that helps out with the camera when you're on a mount. But anyhow, the thing is, I've got several components that I've already picked out for this design, and it comes out quite interesting. I wanted it to be kind of like a Swiss Army knife routine, but instead of being about utility, it's about damage. So it has a lot of different ways of inflicting damage on an enemy, including outright attack power, and more, including various ways of slowing them down from being able to counter you. So, again, gives it a little more function. Now, the first thing you're going to need is the base part, which will be a sylph wing. Sylphs are elementals that are usually found around structures, but will also show up in the ether if you have that mod installed. It adds the smited condition, which basically means the enemy can't really stop themselves from burning until the effect is cured or wears off. And it also adds both a head and a pommel slot, and that's particularly important for this design because, again, it goes with a pommel, and I think it's always best to try to get one if you can, because it adds that little extra set of abilities. And remember, I always go with level 3, and in this case, level 3 for the pommel is particularly important because only the level 3 version additionally adds penetration. All the Vespid stingers will add poison, but for that little extra kick, I had to make sure to go with level 3 just for this one. Now, Vespids are usually found in jungles, and if you have mob events enabled, there is one where they swarm you. I think it's even called the Swarm. So, if you have mob events on, they will come to you. Although, in recent editions of Lycanites Mobs, that's off by default. So, I've been kind of just leaving that off mainly because that he's kind of considered that the default type now. Now, for another component, you're going to, of course, need a head slot to get your other slots working. And have it categorized, because between blade or sword, whichever way you look at it, pike, and, well, one that could alternately be considered war axe, or, like warhammer or battle axe. But either way, you'll need a head that adds axe slots for that. And that's where the Ventoraptor skull comes in. As I've stated before, they show up mainly in the plains. And they are kind of a quick, fast blue bird that also makes a nice mount if you can tame them. But in this case, you're going for their skulls because you need the component. It adds weakness to the target, and it also adds the axe slots that I was mentioning before. 2 axe slots I'm going with here in terms of parts would be a clink scythe, and clinks are usually found in the desert, so you'll be going through desert biomes for them. It adds a pretty good amount of knockback. And it also adds the aphasia status, which means that they can't use items. So it tries to put the enemy on lockdown in addition to its other nasty effects. Now, this can also be used as a hoe, shears, and shovel in terms of harvesting blocks, but that's not really the focus of this because it's, again, primarily meant to be a weapon. Now, it should also be noted that some components have a sweep, which means that they use the same thing that a vanilla sword does in creating a sweep whenever you attack with it at full power. So that can help out with that. And also remember that Lycanites equipment has unlimited durability but can't be enchanted, so a sweep will just be at minimal damage. It won't have the same effect as if you had a sweeping edge 3 sword, which gives you proportional extra damage and can equal the full strike at full power. Now, so remember that sweeps are important, but not the whole story, because again, locking the enemy down with aphasia is pretty good. We also have the other axe component, the Geonock Fist. Geonocks will show up quite a bit in my designs, and it's partially because they're actually pretty common to find. You usually will find them while you're mining, so they show up decently often. Now, this adds a large amount of knockback, like the Clink Scythe does, but it also adds the weight debuff, so it'll be trying to push your enemy down, making it hard for them to jump upward, and if they're in the water, they will be kind of dragged under. So if you're anywhere near an aquatic environment, this thing will be very nasty. Additionally, it can harvest as a pickaxe and harvest an area. So that is something that you might want to keep in mind, is that you can do mass mining with this thing, in addition to using it as a warhammer. So I will be revealing how to actually do it. Remember, with the equipment forges, you start off with one at level 1. It requires a crafting table and a wooden axe to craft. Then you add an iron block to that to get the intermediate one, and then you add a diamond block to that one to get this master forge, which is at level 3. And it's pretty much the only forge you ever need, because it can handle all the lesser parts too. And you might as well go for level 3 as much as you can. May take some grinding, but in the end, he does have a plan to have them upgradable so that you can combine them, possibly in an anvil, so that 2 of one level come up to the next. So basically 2 level 1s will make a level 2, and 2 level 2s will make a level 3. So if you're collecting a lot of level 1 parts, you can add it all up. Well, eventually, anyhow. Now, to the actual creation, I have my base part, the Sylph Wing. I'll be adding my pommel, the Vespid Stinger. My head part, the Ventoraptor Skull. I will be adding one of the axe components, the Clink Scythe. And I'll be adding the Geonock Fist for the other one. And this creates this wonderfully powerful weapon. Now note it has 2 attack speed and 13 attack damage. So that's already better than a vanilla diamond sword by a pretty good margin, and even a lot of other modded weapons in current Minecraft. So, to work it out, we will finish it off with the name that I had already determined for it, and that is Scourgehammer. So yeah, this thing is nasty. Now remember, with the penetration debuff from the Vespid Stinger, the poison damage and the burning will cause extra damage, and those 2 effects will trigger simultaneously, in all likelihood. So yeah, an enemy will be basically just repetitively smashed by this, even if you don't keep hitting them. And with higher attack speed than a diamond sword, you can hit them multiple times in a row before the debuff wears off. I have some very loud birds around here. Yes, I've noticed. I don't know where they are, but I know that they are birds and that they are around somewhere. I kind of, whenever I created this world to do this real quick, I wound up in an island chain. So yes, hence why we have loud dolphins. And, I just noticed a drown. Yeah, notice he just sinks like a brick. And just got 2-shot. So, yeah, I was going to demonstrate with something much bigger. But that guy just got it. He really, really got it. Is there any sufficient land mass that I can fight with from here? Or will I have to just go for it at point-blank range? Because I can do it. I can do it. I have the ability to do so. Whoa, lag spike. Some things are happening simultaneously, so pardon that. But yeah, this is meant for very nasty combat and is the focus of it, so I'm definitely going to want to show off that. And for that, I've got the Morok, which is very nasty. And I have some rabbit stew to recover afterwards. So yeah, let's do this. Oh yeah, that's right. The new structure for this has basically changed. So that is something I'll have to remember. Is how to do that, because I'm so used to doing game mode C and game mode S and it defaulting correctly. That's a very confused sheep. Okay, now let's do this thing. Where are you? Wow. I sunk him into the sea. Will he even be able to come after me after that? Oh, there he is. Hi. Are you going to charge me, or do you realize what's going to happen? Yeah, I'm not even really efforting here. Whoa, did he zip from one location to another? Or did I have the mother of all leg spikes? Can I target? Are you just going over my head? This guy does not want to be smashed. Like, he knows what's going to go on if I hit him with this thing. It's absolutely huge. I was trying to see what his base HP was. But every time I'm about to, he runs off. Or rather, flies. I know I haven't tamed you, so it's not like... Oh, yeah. Every time I hit him, he just zooms away. So it's like, ah! Giant weapon! To be perfectly fair, this thing is massive. And I've been nearly drowning a dragon with it in more than one instance. If I can hit him more than one time in a row, that would be nice. Yep, sinking down. Ah. Not sure if it's the mod pack doing lag, or if it's just the fact that I'm using a very unusual setup. But he is everywhere, and I'm trying to chase him down. I have a pretty good stew to recover afterwards, but I need to hit him. I need to demonstrate this weapon. There we go. Morak has been destroyed. Soup's on. Yeah, there is a little lag. So but hey, it's that new mod pack while doing other stuff at the same time thing, so stuff happens. So let's see how well this thing performs in terms of, well, grabbing blocks. You can see that it harvests through things very quickly. And remember that it does have pickaxe type capability and huge amounts of burrowing. Remember that Lycanites equipment automatically has something kind of like a vein miner type ability. Because note that it smashed these blocks over here, but it didn't hit the andesite or the dirt. Because once it's targeting one particular type of block, it won't go any further. Well, it'll go further, but it won't hit anything else other than that type of block. And also remember that you can, in fact, hold sneak to only strike one block at a time. So you do have control. And a lot of it, actually. So let's smack the andesite for a moment. And see that the other stuff is basically fine. So again, it only targets one block type at a time, no matter how many blocks it's about to smash. So the area smashing ability of this is incredible, and it also makes a handy weapon. I probably could have taken down the dragon a little easier if I'd been able to bounce him off a wall or something, because more than one hit of this in a row is going to be absolutely devastating because of the penetration debuff adding in extra damage, but I kept flinging them all over the place because I was too close to the water. So, lesson learned, next time, have a wall. Oh well. I tried. But either way, you gotta admit, this is a pretty wacky design. And remember, the parts are a tad lively. That is part of the general design. Lycanite likes it that way, and I kind of agree. It gives them their own style. So, just remember, animated parts are here to stay. So, just remember that. And again, sorry I couldn't have my regular demonstration location, but the other world is temporarily out of service. So, I had to improvise. For now, I'll be logging off. Hope you enjoy this particularly nice piece of Lycanite's equipment, the Scourgehammer. So I'll be logging off for now. Hope to hear from you all later. And bye for now, everybody.